Got 7:29.
Well, whoopee-doo.
Well, I wrote you down as the acting chair, so shoot.
Okay, the meeting is open at 7:30. And do I have a motion for the minutes of August 14th?
I make a motion to accept the minutes from August 14th.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, passed. Okay, we have a continued hearing from the previous meeting to hear a notice of intent from Edward Santos. Charlie, what do we have for this one?
The day after we closed the meeting or continued the meeting, we got a file number from DEP. So in the time span between then and now, I typed out an order of conditions.
Okay, so we need a motion then to,
I'll make a motion that we close the hearing tonight and sign and issue the order of conditions to Mr. and Mrs. Santos.
is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, okay, let's do that signing now, and we will,
Sign the top page and in the order itself. Yes, please. Take my page.
there were just two, right?
Well, I had an extra signature page because I didn't make out any for DEP or our file.
No, I was saying just two places to sign.
Just two meetings tonight, yeah.
Okay, just making sure so that we don't get stuck with that.
It's all yours.
Thank you very much.
Have a good night.
Sorry for the delay.
That's all right. Thank you.
Okay, we have a hearing for a notice of intent from Antone Rodericks. And Charlie, you have some information on that?
Board of Health says they still haven't approved the septic design. We can go through the motions here, but
I don't know if it's easier to lay it down, or if you want me to.
Why don't you just hold it up a
We
little
have a
bit so.
couple copies for you too, these are all
yeah,
the
we need
same.
a copy for the file anyway.
Yeah.
Lisa, coming here tonight is retirement money, by the way, just letting you know.
What is it?
Retirement.
I haven't looked into it yet. I'm not getting old.
Jim can see it.
What are you trying to?
For the record, I'm Niall Zager from Zenith Consulting Engineers. So we did, and you're absolutely right, that we do not have approval from the Board of Health at this point. We did meet with them informally about the plan, and they gave us the go-ahead as far as what they would want for the system. As far as location, they were okay with the location, the type of septic system that we were using. The only change that was made from the last plan to this plan was more detail, which you have. There's more details as far as the septic system goes, profiles, cross sections, all the test pit information, things of that nature, more notes and calculations that are required for the Title V requirements and for the Board of Health to review. But as far as conservation goes, The limit of work is not changing, the scope of the project is not changing. The only thing that may change is, you know, during that review, there may be some technical, things that may change, but from what I gathered at the meeting with the Board of Health was, they were in, agreement as a board that if we provided them with this alternative system, with a I recommended a microfast system, advanced treatment system in the septic tank, that they would allow the variance to the wetland, location. So, that's basically where we stand. I can go through more details if you have questions on it, but as far as conservation goes, like I said, the size of the system has stayed exactly the same. The location, heights, everything has stayed the same. The only thing that's changed is the units within the system and just, again, more details. If you look at the plan from before to this sheet, it really didn't change at all.
As far as
The
the
red line on here represents,
The 25-foot buffer zone.
okay.
So Niles also closed up the wall like you had asked, and we switched around the garage and the main building.
The label on it,
The
that
house
was
has been
mislabeled.
turned around. What was gonna be a garage is now a reconstructed two-bedroom dwelling.
It was a mislabel on
And
the plan.
the other side's the garage.
It was just a mislabel on the plan.
Is this gonna
The
be a
plan-
garage or is
The
it
plan
gonna?
that you have there is the most accurate, is the accurate plan.
Cause the original one shows,
Again, it was just a mislabel. There was a mislabel on the plan.
on our original plan.
That's correct.
So this is what it's gonna be.
That's correct.
You sure it's not gonna be the other way around next month?
I have a
can't-
question.
I can only,
I have a conservation question.
of course.
Are the garage doors still gonna be in the front of the building, or they have to be changed to the back of the building?
No garage doors.
They go-
There's
I
no
didn't hear the
garage.
answer.
There's
But
no,
access through the original garage. It's gonna be access through the original garage.
But the access to the garage will be from William Street?
Yes.
Okay.
So where, the house is where, then which one's the house? The house is, okay, the house is there, and the garage
this
is
is
there.
the garage, yes. And that was an error on my part. I had it mislabeled on the original plan. But again, the size of it, the all of it has stayed exactly the same. It was just a flip fly, it was an error on my end.
I noticed that the test pit profile, test pit 1 and 2 both have wetland soils. BG, sandy loam, it's not the same wetland delineation you had for the,
Well,
for this?
I based mine on vegetation mostly, but I mean, I did a data form. But you know, it's been disturbed, so. Where are the test pits now?
So the test pits were done, they're depicted here where the septic system is. You got test pit 1 here,
Yeah,
kind of at the corner,
okay.
and you've got one here.
Uh-huh.
And again, you're right, it was within an area that had been disturbed when I was out there.
Yeah,
But we dug down, we found,
I
definitely,
didn't know that septic systems could have wetland soils in them.
well, it's a sandy loam below, and that's what we used as the soil for the septic system, so. All the other material is going to be removed, all the unsuitable soil fill needs to be removed, and all, brought in with new C33 Title V sands.
topographically, I mean, there is a little pitch. Well, there's a pitch straight from the road, but there's, you know, between my flagging and actually, Marty Nover had agreed to it's pretty close to the line she had, if not, mine's a little more conservative, that she had agreed to on the original applications for the other lots.
It came out this way.
Yeah,
I think that it went a little further than it
No.
is right now, but that's,
I don't think so, cause I found the flags and it looked right to me. I mean,
We-
there were pine and, oak on the other side.
Just so you know, so what we did was we overlaid the old plan onto this plan
yep,
to confirm, and, Lisa's absolutely correct in saying that, her flags were
They were a
either,
little lower.
were either, on or a little bit more conservative than what was on that original plan.
Yeah, mine were
That-
more
yeah,
conservative,
that's correct.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what I did was I took that plan, I scanned it in, it's probably within accuracy of like a half a foot or so, but close enough for a wetland flag. And we overlaid it and it felt really close, if not, like I said, Lisa's was definitely a little bit more conservative in spots, so. And there is, you're absolutely right as well, there's about a foot to a foot and a half of elevation change from the test pit to the wetland elevation. Just topographically, it's about a foot and a half of change, foot to a foot and a half, depending on where you're at.
well, why hasn't the Board of Health issued, approved it?
Because they have to, so Todd, Pilling has the plan, he got the plan last week, and I just don't think he's had time to review it.
At first, what were you waiting for, a sieve analysis?
Yes,
That pushed the meeting back.
that's correct. So we went in front of we went to the meeting informally, we had the plan that we had submitted to the commission as part of the notice of intent, the original notice of intent. We brought that to them and discussed it with them informally to find, before we went too much further as far as details on the plan, discussed it with them and they were completely in agreement with what we wanted to do. So now we were at the point where, all right, now we can finalize the plan, put all the final details on grading, elevations, things of that nature, on the plan, and that's what we did. So that's what you see before you.
Is it gonna be a raised system?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Oh, it's raised way above the
What's
ground.
gonna happen to Tony's wall?
Tony's wall's actually gonna be raised up about a foot or so on the front, and then he's got to extend it in spots as well. He's extending it, if you look here, I have it all labeled up, but along this sideline here, he's gonna extend it here. This wall here is gonna stay exactly the same as we called it out originally on the plan. And then he's also going to be building another wall on the access point here that's gonna connect from where he ended it on the corner, and it's going to run right down here. We need to do that because to make the grade work so they can access around the building.
You're gonna call this the wall house? You're gonna call it the wall house?
Yeah.
Will there be a driveway?
Oh, yeah, so this hatched area here
Yeah.
is the access way.
Two-
And that's why this wall is being placed there in order to be able to make the grades work and be able to access it still. Because we're set at the elevation at the road, as you know, and with where the building is. So in order to do that, this is mounded up. If you can picture the system mounded up, this is graded down. We have to build this wall in order to be able to retain that
So the
back.
driveway will be in the buffer zone?
Now, Charlie asked if the entrance to the garage was gonna be on William Street. Now you're saying that it's gonna be a driveway going all the way around the back.
It's just like it is now. There's just access around the building. It's
Access
just
in
like it is
both
now. It's a gravel way
places.
that goes around the building.
Yeah.
But I believe what Charlie was asking is where the access is to the bays. The bays are here.
Because if they have to come in from the back, I don't know how that can,
You wouldn't be able to turn into it, no. You wouldn't be able to get into it, no.
You're not gonna put the bays in the back, right?
The
You're not-
bays are off of William
garage.
Street.
No, it was there.
Yeah. That's the only way you could get into it. You wouldn't be able to turn, maybe turn a golf cart in there, but you're not turning a vehicle in there.
man, garage, how the hell are they gonna do it? But that answers my question.
Yes, sir. So again, I think, it's obviously completely up to you, but basically what's gonna happen with the Board of Health is the change of the plan, the location's not gonna change, the limit of work's not gonna change. The only things that will change are any technical, maybe, things that he wants, notes, maybe he finds an error on an elevation, or he just wants some more information somewhere. But as far as conservation goes, limit of work, what the intent of the project is within the buffer zone is not going to change at all. Because that's why we went in front of the Board of Health informally to make sure that that was going to be, this was going to be acceptable to them before we went forward. So, as far as the commission goes, I think you at least have something in front of you that you can feel comfortable that's not going to change.
I'd like to see their finished plan, their finished approval, just in case we, you know, we don't know what they're really doing, but if they move something around, then,
I don't know.
what?
I don't know what Todd could do to make any difference, but.
Okay, well, then,
All
what is your wish?
I can tell you is I was at the meeting with Tony, and they were all in agreement on the location, like I said. So that's all I can say.
When is the next meeting?
There is actually not going to be a meeting. He is going to review it and issue me any changes that he needs
Oh,
made on the plan. He's going to be able to grant the variances as they are in office. He does not have to bring it back to the board. The board's already given their blessing on the system.
So the variances come from the Board of Health agent?
Correct. He has been given permission by the Board of Health to grant those variances.
And what kind of variances is he gonna grant? Have any idea?
Oh yeah, we presented them all with them, absolutely. It's mainly the reduction to the wetland, for the location of the septic system to the wetland. But
Yeah, I mean, it's within 50 feet.
correct. And that's why, but we're doing an advanced treatment system.
Does Title V allow them to be built closer than 50 feet?
Under a repair condition, yes. So you can go for a local upgrade. You have to exhaust all options.
Tony provided these too. I know Jim was asking for evidence of previous system.
Where's the failed
Niles.
system? Where was the failed
So
system?
from what I was told is it's right about here where the treatment unit was.
Niles
Back here.
confirmed that you really only need a hole for it to be considered a failing system.
Yeah, just a privy. You just basically need a privy. So it used to be a system that was just sitting in the water table. Now you've got a system that is going to be
Okay,
highly treated.
is this wall that's being made at the wetland boundary? I would like to see that done, completed, before any other work is done on the septic system to prevent. That would, Charlie, can you hear me?
No.
I said, I would wanna see that wall completed, this one here,
As a limited
completed
disturbance.
before any work on the septic is done,
Oh, I'll buy that.
to keep them out of the wetlands, with that
Well, I
septic.
noticed the opening that was in the original plan is closed now.
Yep,
That makes me happy.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, that would be one of the conditions.
Yeah, I
Are
think
you
that,
okay with that, Tony?
I have to, I mean, before they can approve it and sign off on it, the wall's gonna be up. I'm just trying to get the system in while it's dry and not do any more damage to the wetlands and, start.
well, that wall will prevent you from doing damage, that's the whole idea.
At the end of the time of year, I'll never get the system in, I'll tell you that right now. And if I go out and hire somebody, they're not gonna come in tomorrow and stop the wall.
I mean, what if he put in like a bigger silt sock, something like the 12 to 8
Couple
blown
of
in
them.
silt sock that,
It's got a pretty good size silt sock now. What size?
I think it's just like an 8-inch.
but it's just like straw, right? I mean, you can.
If you
can
get the
do
filter
the
mix,
mulch, the organic mulch and that.
you get ones that you can't move by hand,
But the
but
only thing with those, I found in experience, they back that truck in, right, and they blow it in. So they don't even care, like, I mean, I've had them almost sink near the wetland, like, what are you doing? Oh, this is the only way, and they're really lazy, they don't wanna have to carry it, so they back the truck right up to it.
I wonder if I put a silt fence, put the silt sock up against.
Well, the problem is
No.
trust. We have 3 enforcement orders on this property right now. And all because of incremental alterations to the wetland.
Yeah.
you say that it's right where it is now, well, I think that it's a little bit shorter, and the wall is actually on the wetland. When Tony dug the last trench, he dug it from the edge of the driveway all the way around, and the sedges were right there. You can
Yeah,
see
I
the grass.
used the sedges
Now you
for
can't
my
see
lawn.
grass because it's got a pipe underneath, the drain pipe. It's got, been covered with fill and stone.
Okay, I'm just gonna throw in my 2 cents worth. I will not sign an order of conditions if that wall is not in there to go up first before any work is done. Because you said it right, trust. Three enforcement orders and,
Is there anything I can do? Like,
No.
what if I was
yeah,
there?
put the wall up.
I'm willing to approve the plan tonight if that condition is part of the order.
Well, we make it part of the order. It's not his choice, it's our choice.
It's completely up to the commission. I absolutely agree with that.
Can
And-
you live with that?
What's that?
Can you live
The
with
wall
it?
gets built,
I ain't gonna have to.
Okay.
I gotta say like this. They won't, you know, they wanna work with me. We'll do, you know, alternative, I just wanna get the septic sand in before it gets too wet.
Do you want the Coyer fill checks on the wetland side of the wall, or you just want the wall built as the, I mean, what are we doing? Like,
well, the wall right now is in the wetland. It wasn't it's dry land now because there are no sedges for you to look at and drop your flags next to. But the flags actually would be 2 feet further that direction, toward the building. And that was one of the enforcement orders we issued, was because of that wall. He could have dug it in the driveway, he dug it in the wetland area. I mean, still a little here, still a little there. I'm willing to issue an order of conditions for that if that wall is built first. Because Tony's words sometimes is malleable. It's flexible.
Again, you have the choice to issue how you please.
And Lisa would be making the line, or is there already a trench there for
Well,
the
he
wall?
already made a trench, it's right where it shows it right now. The trench is dug, the footing, the foundation is there. All he has to do is build a wall on it.
Okay, well, then let's go, but you're gonna write in the order of conditions.
Well, it's pretty simple. I mean, the only condition that we can make that's gonna be worth a damn is the wall to protect the wetland area. I mean, the building is there, the septic system is gonna go where it is, and that's all in upland area. So the driveway existed before, it's a little bit wider than it used to be, but 2 feet here, 2 feet there.
and it's gonna remain
How
gravel,
high
it's
is
gonna
it? How
remain
high?
gravel.
And how high is the wall gonna be?
It was
So
2
roughly
feet
about
tall,
2
I
feet.
believe,
Yeah.
to add
In that,
2 by
this
2.
wall alone.
Meanwhile,
You're as bad as I am, man. Only I tried to help it. 2 by 2 is what the wall's gonna be, that's what it says in the plan.
2 by 2. Maybe 18 inches, that's what the other wall is.
2 foot
I know
wide by
that's
2
what it
foot
says. I
high.
know that's what it says, but if it's gonna match the other wall, I'm gonna tell you, I'm not trying to lie to you. The other wall's not 2 feet, it's about 18 inches. One on the street.
Well, this
Well, you can make it
isn't
look
gonna,
at
this
2
isn't
feet
gonna
high if
touch
you want,
that.
But it says 2 by 2.
Whatever you want. Whatever you want, Sean. I know what it says, I know what it says.
You can
I
make
was
it
just
2 by 4
surprised to
if
see
you want.
that as you were, because I went over that with Niles and told him it would be about 18 inches wide and about 18 inches high. Because that's what the other wall is. The other wall is not 2
we
feet
just
high.
mark it up. I
Okay,
mean,
wait a minute, but see,
I think we're
already having flexibility here. And this has been the problem. what it says there, no, it doesn't want that, wants something, then what we should do is continue the meeting another month or two, and then let them redraw all their maps again.
It'll be 2 feet by 2 feet. If that's what you want, we'll do 2 feet by 2 feet.
Well, that's what your map says.
Okay, that's what we'll do. That's what it'll be.
You presented a plan. You want us to approve the plan?
We understand, that's what we wanna do, so that's what we'll do.
Yeah, I mean, what the hell? What's the sense of sending in a plan with dimensions if when you start building, you do it 10 by 8 or move it 5 feet over? Right where it is, 2 by 2.
We're not
You can make it 2 by
arguing.
3 or 3 by 4, that what you want, we'll change it tonight.
And just for the
Be
record, I'm not
wary
building
when
it.
we come around for enforcement, cease and desist if it's not done right.
Do
Don't
you-
look-
I'm letting you know.
Jim, how about this? When he's gonna start building it, I will take pictures and get them to you guys. Would you wanna do that?
Whatever you want to do.
And then you might feel a little more comfortable, cause
You come this far, you might as well go over the line.
Whatever the commission wants. If that's what you guys want, you feel comfortable with, that's what I'll do.
But this is your plan, this is your plan, we're just saying, okay, this is what it's gonna be by your plan,
Okay, fine.
and now you're changing it. Or you want us
All
to
right.
change your plan.
Okay. I'm not here to argue with you, just, that's what the plan says, that's what we'll do.
It'll be another enforcement order and with halt
Yeah.
construction, I mean, that's crazy. If you're gonna make any changes and we spot them, you get another.
I was just
well,
trying to do
that'll-
less impact to the wetlands if I put the field in this time of the year. That's all I was trying to do. There'll be less impact right now if I put that field in than if I put it in March or April because of the condition of the
But
soil.
with the wall there, it's not gonna impact you, it shouldn't
Of course
impact
it
you.
is.
Well, the field won't.
Why? The water table's gonna be up. Right now I can dig and not be in a water table. There's no water.
Then you shouldn't have a septic system.
Why not?
If the water table's gonna be that high, you shouldn't have one.
yeah, but the way they are now, if you can pay for it, you can do it. Times have changed with those.
Why can't you do both?
What's that, Chuck?
Build the wall and do
I
the
don't have
septic
time.
system.
We're fighting time. You know, here we are in the middle of September. Time I get that wall done, it's probably gonna be the end of October.
Then it's gonna
You
take
don't-
you a couple of
don't do
days
the
to.
wall,
Pardon?
you have people that you hire to do the wall.
Yeah, but they're busy. I mean, they've gotta schedule it, you know?
Oh,
That's the problem. I mean, they're not gonna be there tomorrow or next week or, you know, whatever. Whatever, if that's what you want.
So, but to clarify, you want the, Filtrex, you want that line left along the wetland on the inside, the wetland side,
Yeah,
while it's built. You don't want an additional one added, right? I don't think you need it, it just needs to be maintained.
he's already got a foundation for the wall, he doesn't have to do anything. He
Just
put
set
the
the wall up.
foundation in,
Just-
it's
all I gotta do
pretty
is set the
damn
wall.
sturdy, he's got filled with stone
Yeah.
from 2.5 or 3 feet deep. He's got a drain underneath it, it's right there, it's just got to be built on. Well, I'll tell you what you can do, Tony. You know those temporary things that you bought? Were you gonna return them? Now's a good time to use them. I'll be willing to make a concession as far as building the wall first, if you leave that
that fence,
temporary fencing right around there.
that's fine.
That's what it was bought,
That's what it was bought for originally, because
And my turf flags, my flags are gonna stay there,
stay,
right?
and
They're
Yeah,
not
something
gonna-
more
the silk sock is gonna stay there. The fencing is gonna be on the outside.
they blew out, anyway.
They blew out.
Satisfactory?
Yeah, appreciate it.
He's got some pretty sturdy temporary fencing. And if he puts that up and around there, anything to keep,
But what I'm looking at is the wall is gonna hold back any silt that may wash out.
He's got a
no, he's got
foundation,
a
plus
silk
he's
fence,
got
that's not a problem.
silk fence there.
Okay,
He's got a silk sock, and the grade there is, the only place was is a downhill grade is where he wants to put the septic in, and he's gonna build a wall on part of it, he's got a wall on this side.
So it's, once that metal fence or whatever it is goes in, the other, you can,
It's just
they can
rest
still be
right on
working
top.
on the stone wall.
Yeah, oh, definitely, as soon as I can get the guy there, let's
I
start.
mean, in these two
Yeah, start 'em.
areas, I'm gonna suggest, Tony, that we add, some Filtrex, just like turn, you
Yeah.
know what I mean?
No problem.
And I'll send
To go up
pictures
the
to the
slope a little bit.
Concom, you know?
That's a good idea.
Yeah, on that corner, I mean, you got a big range.
Oh, he's already bought it,
Yeah, fine, I'll
now you
use it.
can use it.
Yeah. Appreciate it.
You got a motion?
Yeah, I'll make a motion, we close the hearing, issue an order of conditions, and one of the conditions will be that before any work is done on the property, that the temporary fencing he already has would be laid out along this line where the stone wall will eventually be built.
And, okay, we should give a timeline too for the stone wall to be done.
Well, I mean,
I mean, you gotta wait,
he's
you gotta
gonna
get
have to
it
build
Yeah,
it.
no, no,
He
I,
wants a certificate of compliance, he's gotta build, he's
Yeah.
gotta do it. So,
I'll speak to the guy tomorrow and see
Well-
when I can get him in.
if you want, when the septic system is completed, graded and approved, then the wall goes, before you build the house. How's that?
I'll go with that, before the house is built. And that way, that's gonna make that wall go in quicker, sooner rather than later.
Yeah, that's what you want?
Mr. Chairman, can I also make a recommendation that, again, I don't think anything's gonna change, but I would like to be able to give you, if there's any changes to the plan, I'd like to be able to give the commission an updated plan, from the Board of Health, if we have to make any minor changes.
Yeah.
So I'd like to make a condition that we can provide you that updated plan,
Well,
so,
they have
for your file.
21 days after they close public hearing to issue it anyway, so would you have it within the 21?
I can't answer that question because I would hope so, but I don't know how Todd's gonna work with it. So I hope so. But I just think it's a way to, to allow the commission to accept the new plan into the file without having, do an amendment.
Well, usually when you issue an order of conditions, one of the conditions is if there are any major changes, that we have to be consulted, and if it has to be, so.
Because the chances are there's going to be minor changes, but I think, like I said, they're not gonna be changes that are going to affect any of the
So it's
work.
not gonna affect the wall, it's not gonna affect, it might affect your pumping or whatever it is.
It may change like some notes or buoyancy information or what have you, but things that aren't
Yeah.
gonna.
Yeah.
Well, we.
Things you won't even know.
condition that we want those when they're available.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Okay, all right.
That's, I was just trying to make it so that way.
I
we
think
give
that's
you-
worded well, Charlie, that any changes made by the Board of Health will be submitted to us.
Yeah, because it's already submitted to us over here. We have
Yeah,
all the data.
Okay.
Correct.
If there are any data changes.
I'm on with that one. Okay, Charlie, you got the motion, is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay.
Sounds good. Although I said hi, if anyone sees them. I could give him a call too.
Okay.
Does he talk on the phone?
You want my phone number?
No, I have yours. I
Okay.
mean Bill's. Does Bill
Bill.
still talk on the phone? Or-
Well, he wasn't feeling too good. He claimed that he had tick bites and he was having trouble with that. But he looked all right to me when I went over there. I think he just forgot to come tonight.
Yeah, that used to happen too. All right. Thank you.
Okay.
You're welcome.
Good night.
Good night.
Okay, are we all set to move on?
Yeah,
Okay, we have correspondence from Bishna Hashman. Did I say it right?
Close enough.
Close enough.
You get us-
Okay, you're here to give us some information about your project.
Good evening, members of the commission. Brad Holmes, Environmental Consulting and Restoration. It's been a little while since I've been in front of you guys for a while. the last time I was here, we were finalizing this abbreviated resource area delineation for the property. And I guess there's been some discussion about what the ORAD confirmed as part of the conclusion from this project. So I'm here to help try to clarify that. This is the ORAD plan of the site that we confirmed. And basically, there's 3 lots. This lot in blue, this lot in blue, this lot in pink. There's a large bordering vegetated wetland that squiggles along the site. Everything from that wetland out was confirmed through the ORAD application. From this wetland line to the west, the parcel is pretty big. It's 66 acres or so. We didn't delineate anything from this wetland this way. That's what's referenced in the ORAD, is that not all the resource areas on the parcels have been delineated because this large parcel, there was no need to, and this is a pretty extensive project. So everything from the wetland line here was confirmed through a lot of blood, sweat, and tears with Nova Armstrong and ourselves. And that was the result of the ORAD.
Now, everything in pink then, that's all wetlands?
Not exactly.
Just the vacant
Okay.
lot.
So, see,
Just that has not been delineated.
right, the majority of this lot hasn't been delineated. There is a portion of the bordering vegetated wetlands in this corner that has been. So everything that was confirmed by the commission, which was previously reviewed twice, as you remember, I flagged it originally for that first project, reviewed by Nova Armstrong. That project was dismissed. This is the second time we delineated everything. Nova Armstrong reviewed it again. We came to an agreement on everything that was there. The commission was able to issue the ORAD application through that effort. What Nova Armstrong helped the commission to write the ORAD was that not all the resource areas on the site had been delineated because we weren't doing anything over here. So there's no need for us to do additional delineation. So it's specific that this bordering vegetated wetland line that comes all the way through the site, and then you have this wetland here and some other pocket wetlands, are included in the ORAD so that everything here has been confirmed. The land to this area, correct, has not been confirmed. So I think that there was a little bit of confusion about what had been confirmed through the ORAD and hadn't
2
been.
years ago, I mean, my memory doesn't go that far back.
I know.
But I did download for the board, your proposal, and I looked through the peer review that, I downloaded those two, not the first one, but she issued 3 peer reviews. On November 13th was the last one,
Correct.
and we had the meeting on the 15th.
So you're pretty good memory.
Well, the hell with it.
Not
I
bad
just
for
can't
not having a memory.
2 days. And her final recommendation was that we not approve an ORAD for this property. And I don't know what changed the night of the meeting but we did issue one.
Right, so I'm not sure what the last one was, and we got the minutes of your last meeting, we brought those with
Yeah,
us.
well,
And
that's from memory too.
well, the minutes are not from memory, because those were the minutes.
Well, yeah, they are now.
But I responded to Nova Armstrong's peer review letter.
This is the last peer review. All
Okay,
the ones that are highlighted are the ones that she had questions about.
right, and we responded to all those items so that when the commission when we had that last meeting,
Yes.
it's right here in the minutes. Do you have that letter that I sent? I'm trying to look for the ORAD here. Yes, right here. We heard a request for an abbreviated notice from blah, 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 blah. The applicant addressed all issues noted in Nova Armstrong peer review. A motion was made and seconded to close the hearing and issue an ORAD for the project. The vote was unanimous.
Now, the problem is that I can't find the letter that you submitted where all these were answered. Now, I took this out of my computer.
Yep.
This, I didn't go in the folder because they're moving things around now. Everything's gonna be digitized, but I didn't look for downwind's, file. Because that would contain whatever you issued that night, whatever you brought to the meeting that convinced us that you had answered all the, questions. I don't have that.
Well, I do know that the last meeting that we had with the commission, Marty was there at that hearing.
Yes, she was.
Right. So,
But Marty isn't on the commission.
no, I know that. She was there to confirm with the commission that everything had been addressed so that the
And
commission
I'm sure
could
that
vote
you
on the
addressed
ORAD.
something to her in writing for her to change her mind.
The last letter that I have here is this letter. No, not September. I
I've got
included
all
in
of them
that.
that you submitted to me here.
Yes, that was, I'm sorry, September is what I just sent today. That wasn't part of the ORAD. I
No.
submitted a letter on November 1st, 2017 that
Okay,
addressed
and
her
she
comments.
responded to that, because she issued her letter on the 17th, on the 13th.
Yep,
You sent a letter to her on the 7th.
I sent a
I
letter,
don't have copies of
Yep.
your letters, they're in the file.
I don't think there was a letter after whatever, that was my last peer review letter,
November 1st.
yes. And basically, we've addressed, in this letter, we addressed all the things that they were asking for. They had asked for some additional potential vernal pools to be located within the bordering vegetated wetland line, which we did. So,
Well, if that's true, then why did she issue, this is November 1st. On November 13th, we got this one from her. And this is from her. It's her letterhead, and she still has all these requests. The comment has not been addressed. We recommended an ORAD decision specifically, and it goes on and on. On 3, the revised plan depicts boundaries,
I
and it
can,
just keeps going on and
okay,
on.
can do you mind if I look
Sure,
this?
no,
Thank you.
hell, you can keep
See
it.
what? The ANRAD plan must depict the entire site as defined in the ANRAD application,
Right.
right?
And
What we were telling the commission at that time is that Marty was looking to see if this whole parcel would be delineated so that they could review it and confirm as part of the ORAD, okay? What they're referring to is, she was looking for this other 66 acres to be delineated. And we said, no, all we've asked the commission to do is confirm the resource areas on the plan. So that's why
you filed for the whole parcel, 3 parcels.
but it specifically notes the plan. See, if you look at the ORAD, it's gonna confirm the wetland flag numbers in there.
I tried to make sense of it, and,
So-
you know, it's
I can keep it
2
simple.
years ago, and I know we went back and forth a lot. And I can't remember all the back and forths.
I hear you. I can keep it simple in the sense that we submitted an ANRAD application requesting only this portion of the site because we referenced those flag numbers. We didn't ask for this site to be delineated. Nova Armstrong wanted more. We said, no, we don't need to give you this portion. We're not asking for confirmation of that. All we're asking for is the bordering vegetated wetlands and other wetlands in this portion of the site. So that's what she's saying is, she's saying she wanted to have every wetland on all the property to be delineated, which we...
Because that's what you filed for. I remember reading that in here, in there. That's one of your complaints, is that you
Yeah.
filed for the whole parcel.
And we clarified that with the commission that, no, we're not including this portion of the site. And that's why the commission was able to issue that ORAD.
This is October.
So I won't go through every point here because I'm not, it would take some time to go through that. I didn't have this. But I do know that we resolved everything that the commission was looking for so that,
And that's
At
what it
that last
says on,
meeting.
because I checked our minutes too, and it does say that.
All right, so this is what we need to zone in on, the order of resource area delineation, what the commission approved. The boundaries depicted on the plans are accurate, okay? So what they're saying, what Marty drafted this order of resource area
Yes, sir.
delineation for the commission. And what she's saying here is that the bordering vegetated wetlands are, what she's saying in this point here, the bordering vegetated wetlands are accurate, period. So that this wetland line is accurate per this plan, okay? Other resource areas specifically, isolated land subject to flooding, isolated vegetated wetlands, and she references all the numbers. Vernal pools, she references all the numbers, okay? So meaning that every resource area that's on this plan, all these flag numbers are marked here as accurate on this plan. What she's saying is inaccurate. The boundaries of other resource, what she's saying, inaccurate. Bank, land under the water, 200-foot riverfront area, and bordering land subject to flooding. Boundaries were determined to be inaccurate. Additional vernal pools, bank, land under the water, 200-foot, blah, 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 may exist on site, but are depicted on the plan of record. What she's referring to is this area here, which we never asked the commission to refer. So she's covering the ORAD to say, so that someone can't come in and say, hey, all this area here, you've already confirmed there's nothing there because it's on the plan.
Do you have, you said there's 3 parcels. Are those
Yep.
parcels numbered or lettered? You know, parcel 1, parcel 2,
Yeah, they
parcel
Yep.
3, so that we can say that maybe we can make a reference to this order of conditions and say that they refer only to parcels 1, parcels 2, and specifically rule out parcel 3.
We can do that because we can say that these 2 parcels, parcel 1 and 6, are in this box called modified accurate. This parcel here is referring to this.
The problem with what
Inaccurate.
you're saying is that we could not exclude this completely because there is a small portion here that we're showing it, you see?
Yeah.
So we cannot say, oh, this is totally out of the picture, because, I mean, had we, in retrospect, we could have probably done it more neatly.
Well, we could put it with exception
That's
of
what-
flag
Exactly.
mark.
Yes,
With the
exactly.
exception from flag, blah, 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 to flag, blah, blah,
Right.
blah.
Yeah.
That's exactly what we're looking for.
Now, we wouldn't, if we didn't have this wetland on this parcel, we would never have included this parcel in the ORAD.
Yeah, okay.
You know what I mean?
But you got part of the boundary over there is in,
Just a tip, right? This
Yeah,
piece here.
right.
I see some flags that ain't right
Right,
there.
little piece here, a little piece here, and a little piece here. So it needed, you know, parcel 1, 2, and 3 needed to be part of the ANRAD that was submitted because we were confirming the resource areas that we were looking for on that. But obviously,
But it is accurate for the ORAD and for Marty to indicate, no, not everything is shown, because we didn't show everything here.
Okay, Charlie, I think that we can send a letter or, what is it that you're looking for?
we're just looking for your confirmation that the ORAD pertains to this portion of the site, as I said. This portion of the site is confirmed that the resource areas that are in this portion of the site are accurate.
May I explain to you what the confusion is? Because it says accurately that not all wetlands are shown, it created a small confusion on the part of the zoning board of appeals that, oh, does that mean there are wetlands here that are not shown? And that is not the case. The intent for saying not all wetlands are shown
The
is,
ORAD lists the flag numbers that are approved.
Correct.
right.
So
But
what's the confusion?
The
No,
confusion,
I know what he's saying. She wrote down that not all wetlands have been confirmed, but there are other wetlands in the pink zone.
Right.
And
But
those,
she listed the flag numbers.
but what if there were more than those flag numbers? What if there was, you know, because it's saying not everything is shown, what if there was something here that's not numbered?
See, what, you're right.
Okay, what is not, so what they're looking for is a letter saying that lots 1 and 6 are accurate. Lot, limited wetland flagging was done on
This lot.
Pink lot.
Exactly.
Right.
And there most likely are other wetland areas
In the
under,
pink.
in the pink.
But there are no more wetland areas that are not shown that are on the blue lots.
Okay, but now I think we have to number them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We gotta number those
Wait a
lots or
minute.
give names to them.
All of those wetland flags in that 2 lots
Yep,
are listed on that paper,
correct.
Right.
right there. So what's the confusion?
No. The confusion is that it says there may be other areas
Of wetlands.
of wetlands. So we
On her
are
comment,
saying, yes, the pink area may have other wetlands, but they want it to be clear that the blue area, there's no other wetlands.
On this, it says the ANRAD plan must depict the entire site as defined. But they didn't eliminate
Pink.
the pink.
Charlie, so this is
Yeah.
what's
All
causing
the,
confusion.
You have-
the
you
numbers
have,
of the flags are correct, and we're not, nobody's disputing that. But somebody, because of this comment, that it's not all shown, somebody may say, well, how do I know that there are no
Well,
wetlands here?
didn't the original one call for the 3 sites?
Yes,
Well,
That's-
actually, it's right then, because the 3rd site isn't depicted.
so what would you like us to do?
Well,
To
I mean,
say-
you're the one that created the confusion because
We
you
did,
called
we
for the
did.
3 sites.
We did create the confusion,
Well,
we're before you to see how
Well,
you'd like
I'm
us
just
to
saying,
clarify.
it's,
I think I get it read right.
You do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right, because what,
Okay,
Right.
what we need is names for those 3
There are
sites.
names, this is map, this is the lot number, block 13, lot 1, this is block 14, lot 0,
and
and
then,
this is block 11, lot 0.
Okay, block up there, block that one and block this one, whatever he called it,
yep,
is accurate with, in its totality.
correct.
Block
Blah, blah,
nine,
blah. Right.
block
Accurate
nine
with these
has a
flags.
limited wetland delineation, and on that block.
Only
there
these
will-
lines are.
Just on the approved flags. That's-
Exactly,
Right.
right. So we can give you the numbers from here to here, here to here, so there'd be 3 sets of
Okay.
2
numbers.
spots with the approved flags.
Okay.
And that's it, everything, and the other comment pertains to this. So that's,
Okay.
it's accurate, but confusing
I think this is
the
what
way.
was causing the confusion.
Yeah.
On that.
Well, I mean, like I say, they asked for 3 lots. And now they're down to 2, but I mean, there's actually wetlands in the 3rd one that aren't depicted.
Well,
Right.
The rest of it, I mean, part of 2 and,
I think
1
we
and 2,
get it. I
we
don't,
went to
do you
3.
get it yet? Do you understand it?
What bothers me is that the day, 2 days before we had our meeting, she said, don't approve it, the ORAD. And we approved it that night. I don't know what he submitted that night that made her change her mind, but it had to be something. Now, I took this out of my computer, I didn't take it out of the file
Right, yeah,
folder.
yeah.
I wanna look at the file folder and see what changed her mind.
well,
You had to have submitted
Yeah,
something.
the reason why she
like
said
this.
don't approve it is for that particular reason. Because if you approve it, all we're gonna, we can, if you approve it as submitted, we can say, oh, that's all the wetlands, therefore there's no wetlands here.
See, it's difficult here too. You're gonna appear before us later,
Correct.
and whatever we do now would affect whatever we have to do later.
Sure.
You could always say, well, I mean, you approved this, you sent this letter saying that there's no problem. And
No,
something to,
But you're not saying, well, I'm not saying there's no problem. All I'm saying is, what you did, okay, do you believe, okay, let me ask a different question. Do you believe there are any wetlands here that is not shown on these 2? You don't. That's all I want to know. That's all I want you to say in that letter. Don't say anything else. Just say there are no wetlands in this lot and this lot.
Other than those already defined.
right.
Exactly.
and zoning board of appeals, they can read, they should be able to put all that together and know that that was approved and there's no problem there. Why the hell do we have to send her a letter?
Because somebody is standing up every hearing from the opposition and saying, hey, the Conservation Commission with their infinite wisdom said that not all the wetland lines are shown. Therefore, how do you know if they're proposing a road coming here, how do we know there's no wetlands here? Because the commission said there might be some wetlands that is not shown.
Okay, Charlie, I think we
Well,
can
that's the
send,
plan that was presented to us that she approved. That's what she looked at.
So
So,
I think there's a little
I still
confusion
don't
when,
see why they're doing what they're doing.
when you
Is it
submit an
a member of
ANRAD.
the zoning board of appeals?
No. A member of the public with an attorney who's standing up, and the zoning board knows what you're saying. The zoning board not acknowledges, you know, it makes sense to them. But every hearing, a member of the public with his attorney stands up and says, pardon me?
Mr. Hill?
I'm not gonna name names.
I couldn't name
Yeah.
names.
Yeah, he stands up with his attorney, he says, hey, I made an argument that in the past, and here is the same thing. These people, us, are not showing all the wetlands here. And if you don't believe me, look at the, or
Charlie, I think we can send a letter. Now, you want the letter or the planning board?
no,
wants
I
it?
want the letter for us, to us.
That lot map 9 is, and lot map
6.
is totally accurate.
There is no more wetlands that is not
And
shown.
there, all wetlands are displayed or defined
On that.
on map area 9, map area 6, whatever it is. The area of confusion is
Here.
map, lot, whatever it is, which is only partially
Right.
which was
Determined.
partially.
There may exist some more wetlands, but we have not made that determination.
Right, which has
Exactly.
only been partially delineated.
The only wetlands that have been delineated on this lot are
Okay.
these small pieces.
Right,
And-
so if we break it into 3 groups and say, that lot and that lot are totally accurate, the pink lot was only partially delineated, and on that lot, there are most likely, or maybe.
It's undetermined.
more wetland. Undetermined.
And the only wetlands that are accurate are these pieces here, that's it.
As shown
As shown on the
on.
plan. That's
on
all
the
we're
map.
trying to, and it does, when you submit an ANRAD application, we could have submitted an ANRAD application that just says, hey, commission, we only want you to look at 10 flags. Just confirm the 10 flags. It's not a lot kind of thing, like a notice of intent, I have to show the lot.
Yeah,
On an ANRAD, we can pay, because you're paying $2 a linear foot, right? You can just ask the commission to confirm a certain amount of flags on a lot.
because we don't get paid that much here.
We got less than that. But the confusion is when we try to say, we only asked for this to be confirmed, not necessarily each lot. That's the confusion.
Charlie, you are in this business, so to you, it makes no sense. Why would anybody get confused?
Can I, wait a minute.
But
Yep.
the confusion,
keep this.
there,
No, I just want to get those numbers down.
Yep.
Maybe, are they on here? Oh, they are on here.
I think you, give them a chance to find the letter, you know what I mean? The letter you submitted, I'd like to have them read it,
sure.
just to see what's what.
No problem. I think what we're talking about is, does the commission
No, I see
think
what
there's
you're
any other
talking
wetlands in
about.
here?
I see what you're talking
Right.
about, but you submitted a letter, this is a long time ago, a lot of water's gone over the dam.
I actually didn't submit any other letters. The last letter that I submitted to you responded to all no, and you have it in that package. I never
Well,
submitted
I mean,
another letter after
But he
hers.
doesn't, you're looking for the letter, right? You just took it off the
Well-
computer,
Marty Nova, I mean,
rejected it.
yeah, she wanted us to reject your ad. She
Right.
sent that on the 13th. We had a
Yeah.
meeting on the 15th.
Right.
We approved it that
Yeah.
night. Something had to change.
Her
Yeah.
objection, I was in the
Yeah.
meeting, and you may have a lot of meetings, so you may not remember, but I have very few meetings. I was in a meeting. Her objection to approving it, she said, if you approve it as is, you are saying there are no more wetlands here, which is not the case.
So that statement that you made on the, saying that there could be more wetlands
Is accurate.
is accurate, but it deals
Oh,
with the
this
pink
lot.
lot,
Exactly.
not the other lot.
Right, and that's-
So we're gonna
And that's-
define it and say there are other wetlands on an undetermined lot, map 9, block 11, lot 0.
And that's why she noted that as inaccurate here, so that the commission was able
She
to issue
didn't
that
mention
ORAD.
that it was inaccurate because it was a different lot.
Correct.
Is it mentioned in the ORAD?
No.
No.
The
But
other areas on the
okay,
site.
you see now, this is where the
But see,
confusion
the
comes.
problem, you created the problem. You filed for 3 lots.
Right.
Yeah,
We
The
filed- no,
ORAD
when-
application,
but
the
we,
ANRAD application
let me-
has 3 lots
let me just-
listed on it.
Wait. The ORAD application file had asked for this delineation, covering 3 lots. That's what you're getting confused with. We didn't ask for all 3 lots. We only asked for
She
the,
says in her peer
It
review
says,
that
it
you
says the
I know.
entire site.
ANRAD wanted 2
because
lots.
she wanted to do another study through here.
It
We
says
did
the
the-
entire site.
the-
Okay?
Okay.
We didn't, you didn't say we'll do 2 and not 3.
If you went to the
because we wanted to
ANRAD,
do the third
if you
one, but
didn't-
not completely.
if you
It
went to
says
the,
the entire site.
if you went to the ANRAD
Correct.
application,
Correct.
the ANRAD application references the flag numbers
So,
in the application.
Well, I realize that, but those flag numbers are over on the other over the
On
other
this
third,
In
Right.
pink.
the other third, which is part of the entire site.
Mm-hmm.
So you didn't cut out the whole rest of the other third. You're working right there on the edge of the third,
That's
but it
only
says
these
the
people.
entire, I see
Right,
that, I know that.
I know that, I got it,
I
But it
see
says
where
the
the
entire
problem
site.
is. All in
but there
agreement.
is no other way for
Right.
us to deal with it other than what we did. How, if we were to do it correctly, what would we have said? If we didn't want to sit down and delineate everything here, what would we?
You could have cut that out, you could have
Cut it what? How? Cut it how?
cut the lot out to get rid of that. Or extend it and say,
You
we're gonna
mean
do
go-
this corner
You
and
mean
that
go to the
corner.
planning board and have them cut this one and this one off?
Yeah, if you want to. Either that or do the entire site, flag the whole rest of it.
Charlie,
We're not
Charlie.
concerned with the whole site.
It says the entire site.
I understand. Okay, so okay. Let's assume for a second that we made a mistake.
Yeah.
You want us to refile again? We're happy to do that, but it's a waste of time and effort. You know, we all know.
No,
Okay,
it's just,
Wait,
do you-
what
do
do you
you-
think what I was saying? A letter saying that lot, map 9, block 12, map 9, block 14 are 100% accurate with no additional wetlands. They are as defined on the
that
map. However, map 9, block 11 only
Okay.
has a limited wetland delineation and the rest of the lot is undetermined.
100% accurate.
This site probably has wetlands.
Okay, let me make it easier for you.
it does have wetland.
22 flags.
Oh, it does, no, it does.
Yeah.
22 flags, what you're referencing is parcel accurate, 22 flags on parcel
Can
9
I make it
accurate.
easier for you? Can you just clarify, forget this lot. Can you just clarify if there is or there isn't any wetlands that is not shown on these 2 lots?
No, we had Marty do that. Those are
Do you
accurate.
agree with what I'm saying? Will it be possible for you to issue a letter saying that, forget this lot, just a letter saying that we confirm that all the wetlands on these 2 lots are shown and no more wetlands exist aside from what's shown on that plan? On these 2 lots. You're confirming only these 2 lots.
I'm okay with that.
The problem is that they're gonna be coming before us
Back
with his
to us, yeah.
proposal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And maybe we're gonna be putting our foot in our mouth.
why?
Well, because
Because I haven't seen the proposal. We haven't It hasn't been before us. We don't know where the houses are,
Okay.
where anything is.
But our job back then was wetland flag
Delineation.
lines. Bingo, that's all we did.
And we did, we approved them all right there.
On your application, you've got
Right.
the three listed.
Right.
Pardon me?
You've got the three listed on the
Okay,
application.
okay, let's see, you're making it difficult for you and for me, because tomorrow I'll file a new application saying only delineate for these two. You know,
Well, the ORAD, so if you, do you mind if I grab your folder? Is this oh, I'm
That's
sorry.
not the one. What are you looking for?
If you had, so you're looking at the ORAD, that's the permit.
Right.
The ANRAD is the application. And in
No,
the
I didn't print
ANRAD
the ANRAD.
application, we requested these flag numbers to be
Right,
confirmed.
I didn't print the end.
So if there were other wetlands, that's okay.
It might have clarified everything.
I don't think anybody has any confusion that there are no other wetland resource areas on these two parcels, because we went through it all over the place.
Charlie, the two blue are accurate. The two blue are accurate. That's what we had Marty go out there and do.
I still would like to look at the folder and see just what changed our minds on the 15th. Because here,
that's fine.
That's why you wrote in there. That's why you wrote in that
Right.
that
and I
comment.
want to see what the hell changes that he made that we approved. Her peer review was the changes hadn't been addressed.
You know why? Right here. I didn't submit another letter. Jacobs Driscoll finalized this plan 11/15 to include all Marty's comments. We brought this plan to the meeting. Marty's at the meeting, yes, everything's been addressed, as in the minutes. Commission issues the ORAD. So they were addressed by Jacobs Driscoll as far as the revised plan. Okay? All Marty's comments were addressed, other than additional delineation on parcels that we didn't need to do. So that the plan revision of the 15th addressed all Marty's comments. There wasn't any other letter to be
Is that the
hanging out
plan
there.
right there?
Yes, see the revision date?
And I have a copy, 6 copies for you if you'd like.
So,
that
meaning,
plan.
Marty wasn't,
Motion to accept those two lots.
Marty wasn't gonna go to a meeting to the commission and tell, and say everything's addressed
I don't really
without
know
this
what
plan
that-
being done.
I mean, it's been done,
Okay. So,
those two are accurate. And I
this-
understand that
that
comment.
plan shows
The
all
comment
the
says that
complaints that she had right there, all
Correct.
the highlighted stuff.
Correct, other than us doing additional delineations down here.
Okay.
Correct. Because if we went to the meeting without this revised plan, and Marty that evening, and we were going back with things that weren't addressed, she wouldn't have told the commission to vote on it.
Well, she did. She told us not to vote on it on the 13th.
But
That's
on the
And I'm
15th,
just curious as to why we changed our mind on the 15th.
Because we took all the items that she asked for and put them on the plan and brought it with us to the, I don't remember when the night of the meeting was, it might have been the
It wasn't 15.
15th.
Okay,
So-
I,
They brought this
Charlie,
plan.
here's something here. The ORAD has caused confusion because it notes that other jurisdictional areas are not depicted on the approved plan.
But it also shows, the ORAD shows exactly every wetland area, isolated wetland, it's all listed there.
Right,
Right.
on the two blue. But your comment says because they initially had the whole area, that,
Marty has that on here, right here.
That there are
The
other-
whole
okay.
parcel. And Mr. Hill is a pretty sharp lawyer. He beat the previous applicant to death. We had denied the project. DEP approved the project. It got educated. Not educated, adjudicated, that's better. And he prevailed.
But on that one, we didn't do an ANRAD, that was a notice of intent. We're not talking a notice of intent at this point, we're just
No, no,
talking.
we're talking a
resource-
project.
We're just talking
Right, no,
the
I know
wetland
that,
resource
but the
areas.
ORAD, is what you needed to get the line approved. We approved all those lines that were in there.
Right.
Do you, right now, do you believe those lines are accurate?
Yes.
Do you believe there are more wetlands on these two
We paid a
lots?
woman to check them and make
Right.
sure they were accurate.
So, do you believe there are any more wetlands on these two lots, not this one, these two lots that are
I
not shown?
believe that all those wetland lines are accurate.
And there's no more
Incomplete.
incomplete?
Incomplete. Charlie, incomplete.
What's that?
Incomplete. In other words, did Marty miss any wetlands?
See, but I thought it's only.
No, wait. Did Marty miss any wetlands on
these two.
those? On
Not
those?
as far as I'm concerned.
Okay, that's what he's looking for.
That's all I'm saying.
That's all he wants.
All I
He
want
wants
is a letter that
that
states what
those
you just
lines
said.
are
That's all.
accurate and
On these two.
lot-
On
On
these
those two, and nothing is missing.
On these
what
two
he wants.
only.
I still can't see how the hell he's making the case that we approved all those ORAD lines. We listed all of the lines right there. So every one of those isolated lines is listed on the ORAD.
Exactly.
How
Charlie,
the hell,
I'll tell you how he's making it. If four very intelligent people who do this day in and day out, it took us a half hour to explain it to. You mean somebody who doesn't do this, who wants to create confusion?
well,
Cannot-
that's what he's getting paid to do.
Exactly.
And
Okay,
is the
what
zoning
is
board
the
confused?
comment that was written there? That there may be other,
I don't know.
That inaccurate comment about, when Marty put that last part in there that said the boundaries were determined to be inaccurate because additional vernal pools, bank, blah, 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 may be on the site pertaining to the pink.
Yes.
So somebody
then-
else takes that and says,
Additional.
you can't do anything here because we think there's additional wetlands in here. And that
if
only
you-
pertains to
And if you
this.
stand by the statement for these two lots, tomorrow I'm coming back with another.
Charlie, I truly think we can send them a letter saying those two lots are complete and accurate. Pink lot has only been partially, and they may contain, pink lot may contain vernal pools, boom, boom,
Right.
boom, boom.
As noted
Pink
in
lot.
our ANRAD, check that box.
And as noted in there.
That's-
But those two are accurate, that's all they want.
And that's why
Those two lots are accurate. It's the pink lot which says it is likely that there are vernal pools and wetlands and banks and everything
And you're
else.
worried about, these are your words, putting your foot in your mouth. The only way you would be doing that is if you were saying something that is not true, which is, there is more wetlands here than this depicted here. But that is not a true statement. If you doubt those lines, let us know now so we can, because this is the idea of going through an ANRAD, is so to confirm these lines so you can start designing your project based on these lines. But if this is gonna change, I need to know now.
You've already designed the project, have you not?
But it's still in flux. Tomorrow we have a work session and you're welcome to come tomorrow. Everything is changing tomorrow, so it's in flux. Yeah, we have this, we have a proposal, but the zoning board wants us to change everything. They want us to put different style homes and different roads and it's in flux.
But they have no problem with the wetland lines. You submitted the
They
plan.
don't, Charlie. Somebody is raising that as a question. I need to answer it. I need to make sure that this is not a question, that there is no doubt. Somebody's putting that doubt on the table because of this statement. So I need to go to the authority who reviewed this and say either this is accurate and complete or it's not. If it's not, let me know now so I can go before I design the project.
Let me get back again. The ZBA right now has not raised any questions about wetlands.
The ZBA, no, they have not raised a question on anything.
Right.
They are hearing complaints from people. I'm trying to address any complaints. Yes.
Can I
that's
see that paper from
This?
Yeah. Charlie, if we send a letter saying, the statement boundaries were determined to be inaccurate
pertains.
applies to lot, whatever it is, I'm not
The
gonna
pink
write
lot, let's call it the
it.
pink
The
lot.
pink lot.
Here's the.
On that lot, there may be additional vernal pools, banks, and, yeah.
That just shows you how big that lot is. There's no reason why we would go after
You've
that
got
lot.
that right already. I
It's just
printed
an
all that
assessor's
stuff
map.
off.
No, I know,
There
it's
you
just
go.
an assessor's map. So you're 100% accurate in the sense that this box modified pertains to everything shown here. This box inaccurate pertains to everything here. All you have to do is say what you were saying, sir.
Really, Charlie, I think it's an easy fix for them. And us being accurate.
I just don't want us to do something that's gonna make it difficult for us
But
later.
you already said that those two in
And I agree
blue
with
are
that.
accurate.
And the zoning board of appeals is not raising any questions.
We are, I am. I'm the applicant, I'm raising, I'm the owner.
He is.
I am.
Yeah.
And it's because of one antagonistic attorney.
So we can say
But it's only gonna
those,
answer, I don't know whether we should or shouldn't. Right at the moment, I'm ambivalent, very ambivalent. If the ZBA was giving them a hard time, I'd jump right in it. But the ZBA is not giving them a hard time. They're proceeding along, doing their thing, making changes, trying to get better houses and trying to get them reduced or whatever they do. And that's their job.
But when they ask me to change something, shouldn't I be able to say, oh, I can't run
But they
a road
haven't
across
asked
the
you
street?
to change anything because of
No, no.
Mr. Hill.
No, but they, forget Mr. Hill. When they ask
I
me,
can't forget it because he's the guy who's raising hell.
yes, no, but what I'm saying is, if the planning board, if the zoning board asks me to do something that crosses wetlands, I'm supposed to, I will stand up and say, forget it, I can't do it.
Well, they wouldn't ask you that anyway.
But
Because you're gonna
they
be
wouldn't ask me
presenting
to
a
cross
plan.
wetlands, but they would say, I
It's-
want you to not have houses here, have houses there,
Right,
okay?
but that's their job.
Exactly, but if one of their requests, if I am not sure where the wetland line is,
Well, you are sure, because you have a plan.
okay, so, all right, listen, Charlie, I have two choices. You either give me this letter here about these two, or I'm gonna have to file a new ANRAD for these two lots in.
Just to satisfy that one complainant.
Because that one complaint can appeal on that and create all kinds of confusion.
So we'd have to go back, pay all the fees again, get Marty Nover out again to do these two lots
And you
again.
have to go through hearings and notification, all that, for something you know is true.
It was true at the time of it was
Okay.
done, yes.
Right,
So,
it's that-
but is it not true now?
It should be.
Right, the ORAD's still valid. It was just issued when? It's good for 3 years. It was in 2017, so it's
Charlie,
it's
is
in the
that
middle
your
of it.
chair? Can I make a motion?
I'm still ambivalent.
Well,
That's okay.
would you feel more comfortable if you found the file and actually looked in the file before we went ahead with anything?
But, Charlie is saying he agrees that that is
Exactly.
accurate. So I don't see any problems just saying, it is accurate, those outlines and blue lots are accurate. What's wrong with that?
I'm tending to agree with Charlie that, down the line, it could bite us. If,
But if those are accurate, how
I
can it bite
understand
us?
that, but what's it gonna hurt if he gets the file out just to look at everything from that meeting? Is that
He
gonna
gets a
hurt?
what?
If he defines the file and just look at everything that you have on the.
Go back to the video.
Actually, the minutes.
And we included the minutes in the,
These people record it. I
Yep.
want a chance to.
Before we
copy.
just jump ahead.
No,
with
that's
it,
fine.
listen
That's
to
no
it,
problem.
right, we've included the minutes with it. You won't find a letter from me
Those are my
because,
minutes.
But with the
I'm
actual video
talking
recording.
about the recorded
Okay.
minutes.
that's fine.
Those are word
might
for
help.
word, blow for blow, line for line.
That's
I mean,
wonderful.
this could help cover us, it could help cover you,
That's fine.
just to do it like that, just to be on the safe side, if everybody's.
Okay, that's
I don't
fine.
disagree with you guys.
Yeah.
And,
No,
and
it just
I
picked up.
wondered what changed their mind, you just told me what changed their mind. Because Marty wouldn't change your mind unless something was done that night that made her change, that was what she wanted.
And that's,
And that's
That's
that.
this
I
plan.
didn't think
Right.
about that.
yep,
I thought maybe you submitted something.
no,
but what
there
you
weren't
did
any more
submit,
submittals than me,
you-
for me.
Yes. they answered everything we need to know.
What's that?
November 15th, 2017.
We can look it up in our files, I don't have
I'd
it.
like to
here.
get a copy of the recording of that night.
You got it.
That'll make me very happy. And
We want you happy.
Okay.
And I think that everything's gonna be set. No, because even though it was a couple of years ago, everything comes to mind, comes back.
We have it, we have it.
If you have it,
We have it written down, I'll check it, I don't have it here. We have hard copies that though,
yes.
you know. We'll look for
If
it.
I could have a copy of that, so I could listen to it.
Yep.
And put my mind at peace and make these gentlemen happy.
Yes, we'll send it to you.
Okay. So, no motion tonight.
I just asked if I could, because generally the chair can't make the motion.
No.
Well, I'm not gonna make.
We'll just review
Okay.
it. We'll
You're
You're gonna
and
review
get
it,
back to
and then based upon the
Jim, this is a
review,
recording. Jack, this is a recording.
you'll receive a
4
letter out.
copies
4 copies?
for the gentlemen that are here tonight, yes.
Now, how does that, how do we get those copies? I mean, do they come, do they go,
They're given to us.
Stop
no,
by.
no, but will they be, printed, or is it come as a video?
You're gonna have to sit down and listen to it.
It's a
It'll be our
DVD.
meeting,
DVD,
the whole
okay.
meeting.
DVD,
You
okay.
don't have those in 8-track?
Older ones.
Yeah,
VHS
okay.
anyway, not
It-
eight-track.
As I remember, that meeting was fairly short,
Yeah.
Very short.
and it was in
No,
a
I
smaller
mean,
room,
it
because
just-
we addressed everything she was looking for.
Yeah.
And put it on the plan.
I knew that you couldn't agree, change your mind, because she said not to approve the override,
And
period.
I don't think
And-
Ms. Nova would just
Yes,
go along with
until all
things.
of those things were addressed and how they were addressed, now it's clear.
We did,
Mr. Jacobs addressed it,
whatever she looked
We
for,
just-
we rolled over, took it, and put it on the plan.
good. I'm happy to
And
hear
then the
that.
commission said, great, we can vote and issue the ORAD. That's what, that's
It's
the way
nice
it
now
worked
we
out.
have a little club.
No,
You want
But
this
I'll-
plan?
I'll-
You know,
Do you want,
just to make everybody
you can
happy.
do that.
We got a miniature of that here.
Yeah.
okay, if you needed the
Well,
full
that
size, you
was
can,
easy to read.
No.
Just leave us the plan.
yeah,
Yeah, there's 6
Right.
copies of it, right here.
Okay, you got it.
right.
I got it right here too.
Yeah?
Yeah, that's everything he sent me in his email is there.
Yeah,
The stuff I provided was what we had, I had on my computer.
okay.
But
I think we'll have a solution on this.
When is your next meeting, please?
9th,
9th of
October 9th.
October.
Can we be on that agenda for that, please?
I can put
Yeah.
right.
Thank you.
You can get on the agenda anytime.
Yeah.
All right, just the night.
You don't mind waiting until the 9th?
I mean, do I have a choice?
No.
Okay, so I don't mind.
Okay. If once I'm convinced, I'll be right on board.
Okay.
Because I agree that those lines are accurate. And whatever
See,
antagonist you have,
no, see, in my business, I need to dot every I and cross every T. And if I don't, it comes back to,
and you need to mute every voice in
Exactly.
opposition.
and if
One
they're
way or
correct,
another.
if they're correct, if the voice that's saying is, I need to address, face it head on, not sweep it under the rug. If this is not accurate, tell me what is accurate. So I'll roll with the punches, okay? But if it is accurate, tell me it's accurate.
But he is making noise and you just
Right. So
don't
I
want
need,
to poison the pool.
exactly, so just, believe me, I've been in this game for a long time.
I know.
And I want to do it right. And if, like I said, if it is not accurate,
Because you've done it wrong in the past and paid for
I
it.
actually have not. I always, yes, I've made mistakes where I ignored noises and then it came back and bit me.
We
All
also wanna make sure,
Absolutely.
because this can open up a big can of worms for
Absolutely.
us,
It's
and
not-
everybody will walk
It's not
all
going to
over
open
us.
up any cans of worms
Yeah,
because,
no, it's
because,
just,
yeah, but I understand, because I make sure that whatever, the steps are followed accurately and I will not
Yeah,
put you,
right.
whatever. You do whatever makes you comfortable.
yeah.
And if, like I said, if you believe in your heart of heart that these lines are not accurate, just tell me.
This is the lot you're gonna build a new, elementary school on, right?
No.
See, what the commission, and I'm all for what you're, go review that last file, but per what this plan is saying now, right, is we don't want this to be as shown on the plan. Meaning, this is saying that this whole thing's wetlands, right?
Yeah.
If you read this plan, right, we got a wetland line all the way like that, what would that mean? That would mean that this parcel is 100% wetland, right? Right, that's the way
By
you would read,
default, right.
right, that's the way you would read the plan.
Yeah.
So how can you, I mean, there's nothing, we can only lose if you were to say, yeah, we include that lot as accurate, so that means that whole thing's wetlands. No, we don't want you to say that, because we never defined this, and that's what that pertains to. So there's no way you can, you're protected all the way around, but I think you're right to do what you're
I still
deciding.
wanna hear what went on.
I hear you, but what I'm saying is, per this plan, this 66 acres is 100%
When I looked
wetlands.
at my minutes on my computer, and it said that he had addressed all, I said, how the hell did he address them? Where was I that night? Now, that plan addressed all her complaints.
Mhm.
And that's why she, and that mean, I mean, you know, Marty, you don't push her around. Yeah, we don't push her around, you might be able to, right? You know, so the 9th of October,
Yes.
a whole month?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, and then if
Be
you,
on the agenda.
okay, and if you determine that this is the correct line, how long after that will you be able to issue a letter?
Well, once I
Determine.
listen to what I have to
Right.
listen to,
Right.
I'll be right on board. I'll just have to find a way to
Formula.
agree to satisfy you with a letter that will satisfy us too,
Sure.
and 4 of us. The 5th isn't here tonight, so he doesn't come.
You know your business. I mean, you do what you do, I do what I do.
Well, I mean, I just don't want to put my
Sure.
foot in concrete.
I understand. So, 7:30?
Yeah.
Yeah,
meeting
but you
starts
won't be
at
on at
7:30.
7:30.
Yeah, you would be, right up there
now you're-
because,
This is informal.
Sure. Yeah. So, when will I be on? Or, it doesn't matter, I'll come in.
After whatever hearing that we.
You have that day, that night. No problem. Okay,
Fair enough?
fair enough.
Okay.
we have no continuances, so there's no old business, so that should be,
We'll put you at the top of the list, how's that?
Thank you.
We got rid of 2 hearings tonight and had less trouble than this. And this is an informal operation.
Remember how bad it was to get to this? And now we're still trying to beat
Well,
this
that's
thing
the
up.
thing, I mean, we don't wanna go through this, the rigmarole we've gone through to come up with something that we all know this is the
You
truth.
designed your strawberry field
Yeah,
within those 2 blue lines.
right. Right,
Yeah.
but
And you-
somebody's saying that because of that statement, I might be, with that subdivision, might be over wetlands or vernal pools or streams or whatever that the statement says, even though that statement pertains to this, not this. That's all.
And you're gonna get a copy of the notice of intent if you're in the buffer zone.
The only reason why you don't have the copy we haven't filed notice of intent is because the project is in a state of flux. I don't wanna file something for you now, and then the zoning says, no, I want you to do this, and they come back, oh, we changed it.
But you do have a plan.
I do have a plan, I filed with them.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, have another meeting to change the plan completely. There's nothing like the original plan that I sent you. Nothing. I'll tell you, if you saw the 2 plans, you'd say, what? Nothing like it. So this is why it is very important for me to know that I can depend on these lines,
As
because,
far as I'm concerned, and our consultant was concerned, she didn't want to approve the ORAD until they were addressed, and they're addressed. There's no,
I understand, but you understand where I'm coming from. And every little change of plans costs me a lot of money in engineering and all that, and I'd like to minimize the cost.
but as good conservation people, money shouldn't be a concern of ours. It is for you. but it's not for us.
It's not for you, but truthfulness should be important to you.
Well, and truthfully, I agree with the
Okay, that's all.
Marty is a damn
Right.
good consultant. And she held out, she told us not to approve it in letter, put it in writing, and then I said, what the hell, how did we approve it with this 2 days before? And I couldn't figure out why, because there's nothing on my, I don't have the plan on my computer.
Mhm.
It's in the folder, in the
Gentlemen,
file.
I appreciate your time. I'm
Right.
sorry for,
What was the date of her letter? What was
The
the date of
13th.
her letter that said don't approve it? It was before the meeting.
Marty issued, you have it right there.
the 13th.
November
In your packet.
Then we-
13th.
The,
The
what,
13th.
okay,
Right.
and so when she came in, the changes were
Her-
addressed.
her
This is
written
coming
opinion
back,
to us was not to approve the override.
you know,
And then the night of the meeting, we approved it.
because
And
changes had been
my
made.
Minutes said everything had been addressed, but I couldn't remember how. How were they addressed? Brad just straightened it out, the plan.
You
They
know.
submitted the plan on the 15th with all the changes.
Yeah, that comes back to
I
it.
feel a lot more comfortable now.
And
but I
that's
wanna
why
hear it.
when you go through the meeting minutes, it
Yeah.
was very quick because everything's done. Okay, commission can vote.
And in that meeting, you will see,
Yeah.
but I want to make sure that this is not covered because we didn't delineate that.
Right.
I'll be a lot more flexible when I hear it.
All right,
Fair enough?
Fair
thank you.
enough.
Okay,
Thank you very
Good
much.
Night,
evening.
gentlemen. Have a
Thanks.
good night.
And you have those copies.
yes.
Thank you.
Is that gonna be our K through 4 that you built, K through 4?
A college maybe, you know?
Do you guys have a copy of that meeting too, or just a copy?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, we received a request for an extension of an order of conditions.
Yes, we did.
Okay,
And there's no reason why we shouldn't grant the, I've been there twice already, inspected the site.
yeah,
They're starting to build a driveway. They did carve out the, yeah, man, tough to get over.
okay, this is the one across from the apple orchard,
What's that?
across from the apple
Yes,
orchard,
it
that
is.
driveway.
Yeah.
So they want a
They had
1 year,
they had to restore wetlands, and they carved out the area where the restoration is gonna take place.
okay,
I told the guy not to plant anything, because it's not gonna grow, not this time of year.
no, it's tough.
But it's completed, that's completed. They're working on the driveway now. They have the silt socks down, so everything is ready to go. And they're working on it now as we talk.
So do we have a
But
motion
they're just
to,
not sure that they'll complete the whole project in the allotted time. They've already wasted 2 years.
okay,
I've already signed the copy, my copy.
okay, we need a motion to extend,
Yeah, I'll make a motion that we extend.
second? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay,
Now it's signed. And what else I got? I got that.
okay, the next one is just informative about the,
Yeah, most of it's informal, but this came in today, so that won't be informal. This, the town accountant wants to get a signature approving my salary.
okay,
What a night.
okay. That's the only place you need it?
Yeah,
Okay,
I'll take care of that. There's nothing left.
I guess we're done then.
It's 9:03.
When the planning board sent the letter,
Yeah, I didn't make copies of all that stuff because it's
okay,
not written.
mosquito control.
2011, where's that, down by the mountains or?
Mac has got a fall conference.
But
You can read that if you want.
October 19th, Jesse's daughter's getting married that day, so I won't be there that day.
Yes, well, maybe we can take him to the, bring the wedding to the thing. Huh? You think?
Free apple cider.
Maybe, yeah.
Are we done?
You want a
Okay.
copy of this?
I got my map right in here.
That one's easy to read.
Well, no, I don't need the big paper.
Still see.
Okay, do we have a motion to adjourn?
I, make a motion, we adjourn at 9:05.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.